thinking about what kinds of materials we could use when building the raised beds, we were not only looking at wood materials and purchasing sustainably harvested wood, but we were also looking at the possibility of using milk crates, of using bricks that were being taken out of people's fireplaces that they had no use for anymore and that they were just needing a place to get rid of them. We are also looking at reusing cinder blocks that we found at Maritime Demolition, and then just being creative in terms of how we would actually put them together and make something functional like a raised bed out of them.
We packed these beds full with as much as we could using intercropping, so trying to plant things pretty much on top of each other. So over here we have these really fantastic cherry tomatoes, which everyone admires. Ideally, the people who have contributed to the garden in some way are the people who eat it. But there's no police. Anyone can come through and take anything whenever. It's really nice for people who are wandering through the garden to be able to nibble on stuff. So yeah, if you appreciate the vegetables, then you get to eat some. How's that?
I remember Susie, she was a student from the agriculture college, and she came and contacted NSPIRG because she was interested in finding a spot on Dal campus where she could set up a compost because she had to do it for an assignment for a composting course she was doing, and so she was so excited to get involved with this project. It's really interesting, the connections that you can build with people who are in so many different fields, and they all come together and have a role.
This is the second water collection system we put in. If you scavenged 6 hose clamps, which is really easy to do off of washing machines and dishwashers, if you scavenged 6 hose clamps, it would have cost $29. So 3 interconnected rain barrels like that, that's a half ton of water. Because it's up on a little bit of a shelf, there's enough enough pressure there that we could run a low pressure irrigation system. And we can wash our hands and rinse things out and water our plants.
For me, Seymour Green has totally been a support hub. It's been what has made my project possible, I think, and it's been a place I can come for information and tools and support from Jamie and plants and compost. And
Yeah.
and it's totally helped me make my gardens possible at the school.
Well, Seymour Green has tremendous potential to bring people together, learning about food development, growing in an urban setting, with all of the learning that is offered, not just the growing food, it's the workshops, learning about edible plants. It's a tremendous forum.
It's a demonstration of what's possible with a small space. And it's evolving every year, and I think depending on who's coordinating it and who are the people that are coming to the workshops and what stage the garden's at from year to year. I mean, there's so many things that are always changing, and so it's really neat to see a garden evolve over time and find out what works one year and what doesn't work the next year, and what new ideas you can bring in.
Access to ideas, to inspiration, and to meeting new people, sharing ideas, and the alchemy that happens when great ideas come together, and there's some resources and support there to nurture those.
As I was saying to Carla, I know so little that each time I come here, the knowledge kind of doubles. To give you an example of how little I know, I was here a couple of weeks ago, and Jamie said to me that he should make a trellis for the tomato plant. I said, tomato plant? Which one is that? I had no idea which was a tomato plant by looking at it. Likewise, there was a guest speaker here, kind of was telling us about leaves and what's safe to eat, what's not safe to eat, the medicinal property. And so she talked about dandelion leaves, and I probably had seen them before, but I had no idea what they looked like. So I said, wait a minute, before you go further, I want to see what a dandelion leaf looks like. It's called dandelion because it comes from Don de Lion, the lion's teeth. Because of that, they have that lion's teeth kind of shape. And I learned that it's good for blood pressure and some other diseases like that. So, see, I've stored that in my mind.
That's great. That's so great.
Oh yeah, I was saying about the history too, that it's really great that you are putting on tape some kind of historical flow of how this garden came to be, who worked on it, at what time, and so on. Because lots of nice things happen, but if you don't keep track of them, they get forgotten, and people say, oh, it just started yesterday or last year. And I imagine that people will come back 5 or 10 years later and see themselves on tape and say, yeah, that was me, and I did that back in 2002 or 2007. So it's really great that you're doing this project.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much. That's really great.
Roll credits.
Roll credits.